I remind you, you are still under oath.
Yes, sir.
One follow-up on the issue of the debit card. I'm showing you a message between your mother and your father, and it says, who has the debit card? Correct?
Yes.
Right. And is that from your dad to your mom?
It appears so, yes.
Okay. And then your mom responds back, Scott Y. Correct?
Yes.
Right. And then your dad says, and this is on 5/22/2018, because he's spending a lot. And then your mother asks on, and then 2 fuel charges of $50 each plus other things. Do you remember that at all?
No, I don't remember it because it wasn't on my phone.
Okay. Did your dad, did he ever confront you verbally about that?
No, I do not ever remember a conversation of that.
All right. And, Your Honor, that was Defense Scott 92. And also for a housekeeping matter, we're going to move to admit Scott 94, which was the 6 months of phone records that I referred to earlier. So, I'm showing you what has been previously marked as Thrasher 229. And do you remember this picture, this location?
Yes, sir. I do.
All right. Tell me about this location.
This was down in the basement, kind of right out in front of the bar area, TV hanging up on the wall, just a lounging area.
Lounging area. And in fact, this is an area, there was a TV right there.
Yes, sir.
This is the area where you said you'd come eat your dinner.
I would eat dinner and sometimes lunch there.
Sometimes, but this was kind of like maybe a place you would hang out in the house, yes?
Yes, when I came over to eat, typically I would go down there to watch TV and eat dinner.
Why down there and why not upstairs at the kitchen bar?
Because I like watching TV when I eat.
Okay. But your dad, he would sit at the kitchen bar and read books, correct?
Yes.
So where would your mom eat?
I really don't know. Probably in her bedroom because a lot of times she wasn't there to eat. If any time I was over there to eat, it was me who fixed dinner for my dad or get us food, and he would eat at the bar and read his book, and I would go downstairs and eat and watch TV.
But speaking of eating, you guys, y'all go to Cherokee Ranch a lot.
Yes, sir.
And that's not there anymore, right?
No, it's not.
I remember it was up on 20, right? As you're
Yes.
heading out towards Cumming?
Yes.
Okay. And it was there for many years. It was a buffet style?
Cafeteria style, yes.
Cafeteria. Once upon a time, they had some pretty good crab legs there. Do you ever remember that?
Don't ever remember crab
It might have been
legs.
before you moved to Cherokee. But anyway, y'all, how often would you and your mother go to Cherokee Ranch?
Quite often. A lot.
Best guess. Times a week.
Minimum 3-4 times a week.
Sometimes more.
Yeah.
And your dad, but he would go separately?
On the weekends, we would go and eat lunch there. When he was home, or if he stayed home from the office, we would go there. Almost every Friday, every Friday night, my dad and I will go there and have catfish.
Catfish on Friday nights.
Yes,
That was
sir.
you and Dad.
Yes.
But otherwise, the majority, you would go with your mother about 3 times a week.
Yes, for lunchtime, yes.
Not dinner?
No.
Right. Just always, just kind of regimented, you're going to lunch.
Yeah, because it was so close and it was always a different menu every day.
All right, so back to the house where you would eat right here on this couch.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, going to, and that the exhibit has already been admitted, I believe. I'm going to go to the state's exhibits. This is a conversation with you and your father about the DirecTV guy coming, and that was in early June of 2018, yes?
Yes.
Right. And the appointment appeared to be scheduled, and I believe it was the 12th of June?
I believe it was.
It was
I think
the
I saw
6th.
early
It was
the 6th.
It was the 6th. So you say you were there, and that is when, going back to the Thrasher photo, you say you saw a firearm in this drawer right here,
Yes, sir.
where the marker is,
Yes, sir. The
That
top
drawer.
drawer of that piece of furniture.
and the gun you saw was a. Let me see if I'm. You tell me. Say it. Tell me one more time. What kind of gun was it?
It appeared to me to be a 38 snub nose. It was in
Okay.
a leather holster.
So snub nose means
It wasn't a long barrel.
wasn't a long barrel, and it was in a what kind of holster?
A leather holster. An old looking leather holster.
All right. And what did the handle of the gun look like?
That I do not remember.
All right. So did the gun look like this?
No, not like that. It was similar of the actual material of the gun, the nickel looking chrome, but it wasn't rusted like that is.
But- Okay. So it was a newer looking gun.
Yes.
And the handle, was it a dark handle like this?
I presume so, but I don't remember the color of the handle.
Okay. Did you pull it out of the case?
No, I did not.
Did you pick up the case at all?
No, I didn't pick up the gun entirely. I just kind of barely lifted up, and that was all. I never pulled it out because I had the guy in the room with me, and I didn't want to scare him.
Did the gun look like this gun?
No, because I'd say what is called a blue finish.
How about this gun?
It looked very similar to that right there.
That gun right there? Are you aware that your brother's ex-wife saw a gun in the basement, allegedly, as well, roughly around that time?
No, I did not.
All right. And are you aware that she identified a gun to this jury yesterday that looked like this in the basement?
Okay.
But not in the drawer where you said, in this drawer. Have you ever heard that before?
No.
Now, but you saw a snub-nosed gun.
Yes, I did.
Right. And you said you didn't pull it out of the holster, correct? That's what you just said.
Yes.
Right. So how can you tell that it was a snub-nosed gun if you did not pull it out of the holster?
Because it wasn't a type of holster that covered up the barrel tip. And you could see it was wrapped around the gun, but the bottom section of the gun you could see just a little bit. So it was a clear indication it wasn't a long barreled gun like the other picture you showed me. It would, to my knowledge, it was definitely a snub nose type looking one.
And you never pulled it out, which, I mean, you're trained with guns, obviously, from being in the military. So you know that you have to act like every firearm is loaded. So you just opened the drawer, picked it up. Did you check to see if the gun was loaded at all, making sure to not point it towards anybody or anything?
Like I said, I never picked it up. And no, I did not check to see if it was loaded because I never picked it up. I didn't want to pull it out of the drawer and scare the guy that was in the room with me.
Well, this is an interesting question. I want to ask you this. You just left a loaded gun possibly in a drawer where the kid, because there's kids there all the time, yes?
Periodically. I mean, no kids lived at the house. My nieces were not there every single day of the week because they lived in Maine.
What about any of the other kids, Cameron or anybody?
I don't know what to say on that. I mean, my entire life I've grown up, there are always guns around, but I was well educated on don't mess with them. So we never had gun cases when I was growing up. So it's just nothing out of the ordinary for me. As long as it wasn't laying out in the clear open, I mean, no, I didn't think to do anything like that.
And you didn't tell anybody about that gun? You didn't talk to your dad about it?
No, because I completely kind of forgot about it.
You didn't talk to your mother about it?
No, because she wasn't in town.
Well, she was obviously in town at some point.
I remember at that time that might have been where she was gone at least a minimum of a week.
But see, your excuse for not talking to your mom, you acted like, and we've shown it. You call her, you texted her all the time. You went to lunch with her 3 times a week. So you act like you didn't talk to her, but the reality of the situation is you did. So you could have immediately picked up the phone, and maybe at some point after the Hobby Lobby message, like, hey, you want to go to Hobby Lobby? Why is there a gun in the basement? Why didn't you do that?
I mean, I only saw the gun. I mean, I saw the gun and didn't mess with it, so it was just brief. And I ended up finding a remote, and like I said, I did not want to pull the gun out and scare the guy. And my dad was at work, and she was gone, and I just had trying to help the guy out with that, and I just forgot about it for several weeks. It's not. I mean, it's always just been a kind of common for our household to always have firearms in it. It didn't trigger me to be freaking out and asking a whole bunch of questions to everybody. I mean, we had several guns in the household.
Where were other guns in access in the main house?
They were scattered throughout. Some were in closets, some, for instance, in the picture, you can see one hanging above the sliding doors down in the basement.
Obviously, that one was not loaded.
No. And they were tucked under beds and in closets, so we just, we didn't have a gun safe.
Do you think that there were a number of guns taken into evidence in this house?
Possibly, if they took shotguns and...
Well, think if you've got them tucked in here and there. I mean, were there lots of guns pulled from this house?
I don't know how many guns were pulled from the house.
I want to talk about your dad's spells. Let's go back and talk about the spells. He would have them how often?
Well, like I said earlier, it varied. He could have 1, maybe 2 a week, or he could go, he could have one and go, a month or 2 without having one. They were not on a set schedule.
Now, it's something of note that I think you've noted in a previous interview, because the 3 of you were always at Purcell Lane at some point, right? I mean, sure, your mom would go see Rusty from time to time. It was not a secret that she had a relationship, correct?
She tried to make it a secret, yes.
But everybody knew about it.
We all had our speculations, yes.
But everybody obviously knew about it. Your dad included.
Man, at some point I think we all found out that, we all knew, but we all, for a long period of time, we had our speculations.
Did your dad ever talk to you about any, email relationship he was attempting to have with a Joanne Ward Hill?
No.
Would that surprise you? That there's emails between her and him?
Yeah, it would surprise me.
Trying to have a relationship, maybe?
Yeah, because my dad, I've never known of my dad to do anything like that.
Because he didn't talk to you about it?
No, he didn't talk to me about it, so I didn't know anything about it.
But you would agree that, though maybe odd to most, that 2 people can remain married but have other partners. Yes? An open marriage. Have you heard of these things?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know anybody like that?
No.
Not saying to name anybody, but...
No, I did not.
Okay. But you've heard of them?
Yes, I've heard of it.
And your mother and your father essentially lived that way, correct? They had different lives.
Not in that way, no.
Different parts of the house.
They slept in different bedrooms because of his sleep habits, but and that was for the longest portion of my life. But they still used the same bathroom, and their closets were, right next to each other. So they just, slept in different beds because of his sleep habits.
You've been married before, and I believe you said you had a fiance, so you're about to be married again.
Yes, sir.
You would agree that marriage can be complex, very complicated.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, though you might not agree with the way that your parents lived, you could agree with me that two people could live that way and coexist and be perfectly fine.
Yes, but I don't. That was not how they were.
So back to the spells. He would have them. And there was some time around April that he went into the hospital. You remember that? April 2018.
Yeah, when we took him to the emergency room?
Yes.
Yes.
And now I want to say this. He would have spells, obviously, when your mother was out of town.
Yes, he would.
Okay. So how could your mother have been poisoning him with some form of poison if she was out of town and he was having these spells?
I never accused her of her trying to poison him.
Well,
My
I'm
dad-
not saying...
So that I don't, I can't say anything on that behalf, but with the spells, I know he went to the doctor for quite some time and them trying to figure out what was causing these spells.
But your brother Chris did accuse your mother of poisoning him.
Okay, that's his opinion.
Okay. All right. Let's move to the birthday weekend of your dad. That weekend, you guys came up. Who all was at the house?
Oh, my dad. The day that we actually celebrated, it probably would have been my dad, Emily, her husband, Amanda, her boyfriend, Chad. Don't remember if Ella and Addie were there. I don't think they were. Off the top of my head, that's all I really meant. It was always us who did something like that for my dad's birthday. So,
And you grilled out?
yes, I smoked
Smoke.
I smoked chicken for that.
All right, so tell me about you. How much did you smoke? Like what? Like you smoked chicken. There's a lot of parts of a chicken one could smoke.
I believe we bought a couple whole chickens, and I, cut them in half and arrange them in the smoker that way.
Okay. The reason I asked that, I smoke wings a lot, so that's why I was asking. You just did the whole chicken, cut it in half.
Yeah, cut it in half, cut it in sections, and
You have like an egg, or what kind of smoker were you using?
I just got a one of those electric smokers, like the big upright box. And you just open the little drawer at the bottom, put wood chips in.
So one of the high smokers.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you did that, and your mom, she cooked the sides.
I believe so. Yes.
And what about the cake?
I honestly don't remember if there's cake or not, but she might have baked one or went and bought one. If there was cake, I don't remember a cake.
All right. That weekend, was it a good weekend?
Oh yeah, man.
Nobody got into any arguments?
Not that I remember.
Everything was normal.
Yeah.
Okay. Good family weekend.
Yeah.
Because y'all had a lot of good times up there. I mean, you've said a lot of things about your mother, and you call her Melody now, but she is your mom. But y'all had a lot of great Christmases up there too, didn't you?
Oh yes, man.
Tell me about the Christmas spread that would go on.
Spread as in like in food?
Food and decorations and just the general scene, because from what I've heard, it was amazing.
Like I said, every Christmas was great. When we, even at the old house in Hampton Hall, she always did the interior decorations. She, without a doubt, does an amazing job at, decorating Christmas trees and everything like that. I was the one who did the outside of the house, put lights on the bushes and, the wreaths on the windows and stuff like that. And then when we moved to the farm, she decorated inside of the house. We didn't decorate the outside of the house, but I decorated the horse barn.
Decorated the what now?
The barn.
Okay, what'd you do for that?
Put lights on the bushes, put icicle lights along the roof line, hang the wreaths. It was actually very pretty. All the neighbors loved it.
Would like neighbors come drive through? I mean, I know it was your driveway, but did you let them drive through and look at it?
Well, they were able to see it from the road.
From the road.
Yes. So.
Out on Purcell, not all the way up on Birmingham, certainly, but just down
No,
on
just on
Purcell.
Purcell.
Okay. Sounds great. It sounds amazing. And your mother had like trees all over the house, from what I heard. Is that true?
Yeah, we had more than one tree.
Okay. So what I'm getting at, and the jury has seen countless pictures of this house, and it is ornately decorated, and it is beautiful, and that wouldn't make any sense. See, you've made it out that your dad was this. It appears he was certainly controlling your money and your spending, but your mother has furnished this house with the most beautiful things, and you are aware that she had access to the bank account at any time she wanted with $11,000 in it on 7/3. Did you have that kind of bank access?
If the card I had was to that bank account, yes, I guess I would. But once again, I don't know how many bank accounts my dad had.
But because you weren't married, obviously they're a married couple, so she had financial access to the marital assets. When you would take out money, you didn't have the ability to say, I have an available balance of $11,046.85. That didn't just come out when you did that. You didn't see how much they had in the bank.
No, I mean, anytime that I, went to the ATM to get cash, whatever he put into that bank account that I had the card access to, and I saw the total amount, I saw it, and it fluctuated. It was different limits and all.
But he had specifically set aside an account for you, or do you even know?
All I know is at one point he handed me a debit card and said, here, just use this card, and if I need to put more money into the account, I will do so. And that was everything that was told to me about that.
Okay. So, I want to show you some more text messages between you and your mother. We need to switch back over, Judge. I'm sorry. I know, button. A text message between you and your mother on 7/2/2018. So I believe that would have been, and if I could, is the calendar still up there? It is. It's fine. You mind if I move your push pins? Never, sir. Don't want it to fall out. So, and there's a calendar right here if you need to see it. On Monday, this text is from Monday of that week, the 2nd, okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you remember being bitten? You got it all there. Being bitten by a rat snake.
Yes, I did.
All right, tell me about that. Where were you? What were you doing that day?
Remember I found the snake. It was, I don't remember the exact location. I want to say it was possibly around the chicken coop up by the barn or something. I don't remember exactly where I found that snake at, but
it got you. It sounds like the snake found you and you didn't find the snake.
oh yeah, I picked the snake up, and I knew it wasn't a poisonous snake, so I wasn't grabbing. I picked it up.
Okay. And your mom says, what kind is it? And you said, a rat snake. I already relocated him, but, it doesn't say but. You say, he got me while trying to get him out. Right? And then you sent a picture, and I've got a bigger version of it, of what appears to be. So you got bit by a rat snake. And
Yes.
that's your hand, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how many times did the snake bite you? Just once?
Yeah, it was just that one time.
Just that one time. Okay. Your mother says, wash that good and come get iodine. Sound about right? Did you wash it good?
I'm sure I did.
And you go get iodine?
I don't remember going to get iodine.
You just don't remember.
I don't remember putting iodine on it, no, but I'm pretty sure I would have washed it.
Okay. But you told your mother about it,
Yes.
and she said to go get iodine. Yes?
Yes.
And the iodine was in the house, yes?
Believe so. I didn't have any, and I don't ever remember using any.
Okay. It's been 6 years. Yes?
Yes.
And you haven't thought about being bitten by a rat snake in 6 years?
No, I have not.
But you had gotten iodine out of the house before when you were cut.
I don't remember using iodine until the last time I had a serious cut, and that was a long time ago.
Your Honor, at this time I would admit Scott 87 and Scott 86, which is the text message regarding the rat snake bite and the picture of the rat snake bite.
All right, objection? No objection. All right, move.
So what did you do the rest of the day on the 2nd? Did you play any golf that day? Monday.
I might have. I don't really remember that day particularly, but there's possibly a good chance I played golf. I know I played golf prior to that weekend. That might have been the day I played at Manor Golf Course with my buddies. But I do know I played within a week period of time before that 4th of July weekend.
Do you remember what your mom was doing that day?
No, I do not.
All right. Let's move on to the 3rd. You remember what you did all day of the day of the 3rd, right?
Yes, sir.
What'd you do?
I got up, took care of the animals, and planted the bushes that we just recently bought at Scottsdale Farms behind the backside of the house. It was like some holly bushes. And then once that was done, it was about lunchtime, and then
And that's you and your mom did that? Because y'all went to Scottsdale Farms, right?
yeah, I planted the stuff, and I remember her being on the tractor going around picking up branches and stuff like that, throwing them into the bucket. So yeah, we planted those, and then we decided to go up to Cherokee Ranch to get lunch before I left to go up to the lake house.
What was your dad doing that morning?
I don't remember exactly what he was doing that morning, but he was already at Cherokee Ranch when we got there.
Okay. So he wasn't helping you guys move the, what kind of plant was it?
It was like some holly bushes.
Holly bushes?
Yeah.
Boxwoods or anything like that?
I don't think, no, those weren't boxwoods or some hollies.
Just hollies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So your dad was already up there. Was that the first time you saw him that day, according to your testimony?
I believe that's right. I think that, as I remember, yes.
Okay. Do you remember seeing him any on the 2nd?
I might have. I don't recall.
How about this? So, I mean, the last time you saw that you've alleged that you saw your dad alive was at Cherokee Ranch. Do you remember the last time you saw your dad before that?
I remember he went with us to Scottsdale Farms to buy those bushes.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he was with us when we went there to buy those bushes.
All right. How about before that? Because you just said you didn't know what he did that morning, but y'all went the day before to Scottsdale Farms?
I believe we did. I'm not 100% sure on which day, but I know he went with us to buy the bushes.
Did you see him any before that?
I'm sure I have. It was the weekend.
Well, okay, that would have been his birthday. So you remember his birthday, maybe Scottsdale Farms, Cherokee Ranch. That was it.
To my memory for right now, yes.
So you left Cherokee Ranch. Where was your mother going that you knew of?
I have no clue.
Did you know anything about going to the dog groomers up in Ball Ground?
Don't recall that.
Don't recall. Did y'all talk at lunch where, everybody was going?
I don't remember the conversations that we had at that lunch that day.
So your dad was at lunch. Did he talk to you when he was leaving, or did he just get up and walk out?
He was still there when I left.
Okay. But did he talk to you?
I remember saying, "Hey, I'm going, I'm going up to the lake house. I'll see you later."
That's what you said?
I said to him.
Okay, did he say anything back to you?
He would have said, "Okay."
That's-
I mean,
but you don't know. Did he say anything to the effect of, "Why you going to the lake house? We're doing work at the farm today. Why aren't you doing your job?"
no, he never made that comment to me.
You went, where was that lake house? You referred to, I believe it's in Dawson County.
Yes, sir. It's I can't give you the name of the road and all. I mean, I traveled there so much. It's up where the outlets are. That section of the lake. You get to it by instead of turning left.
Is it near
at the-
War Hill?
I believe so. I think the park was kind of
War Hill Park?
across the way of the cove and all. That possibly might have been the name of that cove.
And that would be like where you would put the boat in, or was the lake house like right there?
They had their own dock, so we wouldn't put boats in the
Okay.
water. But their lake house was in a much slimmer cove. I would say if don't remember the name of the park, but there was definitely a park over there, and I would say that's about 200-300 yards away from their dock. So.
How
That's
many times have you been to their lake house?
Quite a bit.
What'd you do the rest of the day? I mean, you were there from what, about 2 till 10? According to your testimony?
Of the day of the 3rd?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I got there, had lunch, drove up there, and we went out on the lake and came back, and we were just hanging out.
How about this? So, how many beers did you have to drink that day?
I don't remember.
Don't remember?
I probably only had like maybe 1 or 2 beers.
You know, all my DUI clients say that. That's all they ever had was 1 or 2 beers. Did you have any shots?
I don't remember having any.
Okay. But you've had shots up there before, right?
Oh yeah,
Fireball?
yeah, a couple times.
Typically what y'all do? You have the shots of Fireball?
Fireball, Jack Fire. I mean, it's just what we decided.
Crown
to do.
Maple? Any of that?
I don't ever Crown. I mean, I know we done Crown Peach before and all, but
But y'all would have shots. That wasn't unusual.
yeah,
Okay. So it could have happened that day, obviously.
it could have, but
Hey.
I don't remember. Because it was July 3rd. We weren't really partying like we would
On the 4th. It
on 4th.
was a warm-up party.
Yeah, it was just all of us hanging out.
Okay. What'd y'all eat?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay. I find this really interesting, Scott. I just want to note this. You remember, you spent all morning in very thorough detail, remembering things about how you were terminated from this job, or all these very long ago events. You go into so much detail about all that. But when we're talking about the day that your father was murdered, you don't remember very much at all. Would you agree that that's odd? I'll put it in a question.
No, I don't find it odd. I'm sorry if I don't remember what I ate that day. I mean, I remember the basics of the event. To me, at that time, there was nothing wrong.
So, how did you wind up leaving the lake house that night?
Melody called me. Had it been around 10 o'clock or so, and she asked me, "When are you going to be home?" And I said, "I don't know. Haven't really decided, but why? What's going on?" And she said, "Well, the horses are out." And I said, "What do you mean? How the horses get out?" And she said, "Your father left the gate open." And she was like, "You need to come home and get the horses up." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll be on my way in just a few minutes."
How long did it take you to get home?
It's about a 30, I'll say 35 to 45-minute drive, roughly. I
Okay.
wasn't driving right down the road.
So you would have left right about 10, you think?
Whenever she called me, I left, pretty shortly after that. So, like I said, I remember the phone call coming in. It was definitely dark. It could have been anywhere from like 10 to 11, somewhat, but it was around that time frame. I do remember it was dark.
I want to show you some pictures. You would have came home and went to your barn, right?
Yes.
Your barn apartment.
Yes.
Okay. I want to show you some pictures of your barn apartment as it was searched, I believe, on July the 5th. And I kind of want to get a general idea. And this first picture is very dark. But what is it a picture of?
Here's the bedroom.
That's your bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to Scott's 2. Still your bedroom?
Yes.
Scott's 3. Tell me what this is.
Again.
We're not scanning it. All right. What is that?
It's a dog kennel, dog crate.
Okay. Okay, so this is your dog kennel. Next to your bed?
Yeah, it was one of them.
Okay. How many dogs did you have?
For to use a kennel like that, 2.
What kind of dogs were they?
They're English Labs.
Okay. Were they on the property during this time period?
Yes, sir.
And this is another part of your room. So this would have been looking back towards the door or just straight away from the bed?
Straight away from the bed.
All right. And this is a dresser drawer, but did you have other things within the drawer?
Yeah, I had clothes and just kind of all mixed match and stuff in like one drawer. So yeah, there's random stuff in there.
I've got one other picture that kind of gives a better idea about the location of the dresser drawer. So that's your door right here. I mean, none of these pictures are very light, but a lot of that's because it's very dark in your.
Yes, it was a darker.
It's a dark place. None of the walls are painted. It's stained. It's kind of like a hunting cabin. Yes.
Yeah, it was all live edge wood paneling doors, walls and doors.
And you had some deer on the wall, and you had cowboy hats. Yes.
Yes.
And this is your closet. And I'm not trying to pick on you or anything. I mean, I am. You're on cross-examination in a murder trial. But your room's kind of dirty, right?
It's not, I wouldn't say, it's nowhere looking like how my parents' house was.
But I mean, it's kind of dirty. There was dog feces in the floor in that picture. You saw that, yes? I could put it back.
Oh yes, man, I have a little teacup chihuahua and I was not there to be able, to clean up because we weren't allowed to be around.
There's your closet. And you go back. And you still have your military uniform, yes? Was that just more of a keepsake, or did you still wear that?
If that appears to be, my field jacket, and I occasionally wear that time to time.
Okay. Still wear it today?
Every blue moon, yeah. It depends on how cold it gets outside.
Just kind of packed. It's just not very clean in your room, is all I'm trying to get at. I'm not trying to pick on your overall cleanliness, but I am a little. And this is your nightstand, or what is that? Just a table?
There's a table with some fabric draped over it.
This is on top of your dresser. Yes?
Yes.
And that's that laptop right there. What, would you use that laptop?
At that time, no. I was mainly using that when I was in the military.
So you had it for a long time.
So my dad bought it for me in 2008 for Christmas because, back then, I knew I was deploying. So I know I'll be able to communicate with them and do, at the time it was Skype calls and stuff like that. So he bought me the laptop for Christmas to be able to do that.
Okay. So, had that laptop been searched, when was the last time you would have used that laptop?
I do not remember.
Would you have potentially used it that week?
Nah, I highly doubt it. I really don't remember last time.
Okay. What computer device were you using the most at the time?
My cell phone.
That's what you would search things on?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is that the passwords for your laptop? Did you give that to the police?
Possibly. I really don't remember the password for that computer. It's been that long since I've used it.
Okay. Where did that come from? Farris 813836.
I honestly do not remember.
Okay. That is a sufficient answer. All right. This is your washroom, yes?
Yeah, bathroom / laundry room.
All right. So that's also in your bathroom.
Yes.
That's your bathroom sink. Yes?
Yes.
All right, that's your bathroom sink. Here's your shower. I'm going to try to move as quickly as I can. That's your shower, yes?
Yes.
And what is that?
Looks like to be a sponge or some sort.
Okay. And this is the bottom of your shower, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And the jury, everybody's sitting here wondering, and I've got all these pictures of your shower. But here's what I've noticed, and I want you to tell me if I'm wrong. And I've got pictures, and we're going to just kind of quickly go through a few pictures of your kitchen and the general rest of your apartment. Please just put those over there. But your apartment's kind of a bachelor pad. It's kind of a mess. Yes?
I mean, it wasn't picture perfect, but yeah, I wasn't bringing, ladies up there, so I wasn't worried about having it spotless.
But your shower was. Isn't that odd?
No, I always clean my bathroom.
But your shower was spotless. I mean, compared to you've got feces in the floor and other parts of the house, and you're just very disheveled.
Well,
But your bathroom is very clean. Why is that?
Well, the dog droppings is because I wasn't able to go in and take care of my dog. So, yeah, she was up in the apartment locked up. So I wasn't able to clean up the dog stool.
Is that the door to your, kind of from the outside porch into your apartment?
Yes.
And here's just the last picture. Here's the aisle. Is this the island in your kitchen?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So, not super clean, kind of just a general bachelor pad. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I'll show you, Scott, some pictures that have been previously marked in this case. We looked at your bedroom, and you had a drawer. I believe it was a dresser drawer. Would this have been your dresser drawer?
It appears so, yes.
Okay, so you got a card from the sheriff's office, of Sergeant Ballard. What is that about? Why did you have a card in there when your room was being searched?
I believe that might have been one of the times that like I said earlier, that I would talk to people in other counties and get an idea of, how stuff was going on about being hired on. So that might have been one of the somebody I ran into and talked to, and he gave me his card. So that's probably why I would have had it.
And Scott, have you noticed here that you have some loose bullets?
Yes.
Right. What kind of bullets are those?
Without looking at them, I mean, I really don't know the caliper. But it appears those would be the ones that would have came from my grandparents' house. There was a box that my grandfather had some coins, and he had a whole bunch of different stuff. He even had his dog tags in there from when he served, and I think that those are just the drawer that those got put into.
And just for a closer picture for identification purposes, can you, and I can zoom in, I believe, can you make out what it says on this bullet right there?
Well, the one on the right I can make out, and it's a 38 special.
Okay. So does that refresh your memory that those were 38 special bullets?
If that's what it says on them, then yes.
Right. And, in this case, there were a number of bullets in your barn apartment, yes? In the barn, yes?
In the barn, yes.
All right. I think just to keep things clean, I'm going to call this Scott 201. I'm going to set these right here for you to identify if you wouldn't mind.
Just make a record of you doing what you're doing.
For the record, I have opened the box, partially opened and set in front of Scott Farris this box for identification of the bullets inside. What kind of bullets are those?
It says on the caliper 38 special.
Could you please read the brand name?
It says American Eagle Federal.
Okay. Where did these bullets come from?
Where were they found?
Yes, that's what I'm asking you, sir. Where were they in your barn?
Well, any ammunition like that would have been downstairs, possibly either in the feed room or the tool room. And I remembered that I had a friend that came out. There was a group of friends that came out, and one of the persons that came out had some ammunition that they left, and because I remember them, Detective Hayes asking me about that, and I gave the name of what we called him, his name and what number I had of him, but I haven't been in contact with that guy in a long time. But yes, there was some ammunition that was left from somebody who came out and did some shooting, and I left them. They were left in the tool shed, so they should have been with some 16 gauge shotgun shells.
What are these cartridges?
Looks like 280, but typically they say on the side of the box.
Can you see anywhere on the side of the box?
Am I able to pull one out to get a closer look?
I'll zoom in. I'll zoom in for you.
I don't care.
I believe it's a 380. Would that be a refresh your memory?
Yeah.
To the letter on
Oh, very clear there now.
the miracle of modern technology.
When I say modern, I mean
12 years ago.
Okay. And if I haven't tendered that, I would ask to admit as Scott 202.
okay.
Sometimes trials are obviously slow and monotonous, but there's something that I do want to talk to you about, and it is, I'm going to show you what's previously been admitted in this case as Stewart Defense 1. What is this room?
That is the wash stall. That's where we give our horses baths, and we would also wash the dogs there too.
Okay. Would you say that this is generally the area you are in charge of this area? Yes?
Yeah, this is down in the barn where all the horse stalls are.
Okay. All right, now I want to go back to the night of the 3rd. You talked to your mom. What did your mom say when she called you?
When I was at the lake house,
when you were at the lake house?
She called me and she asked me, when are you going to be home? And I said, I don't know what's going on. And she said the horses were out. And I asked her how the horses get out. And she said, your father left the gate open. And she said, you need to get home and help get them up. And I said, well, I'll be on my way shortly.
Scott, you did it again. And I noticed this, and do you notice this? You didn't remember anything about your day. Very little, conversation-wise. You don't remember what you said to your dad. You don't remember what your dad said to you. You don't remember any of those things, but you remember every word, allegedly, from that conversation with your mom on that night. Word for word. Is that not odd? That's the question.
To me, no. That was, a major event that it was eventually to come of this situation. So,
Nicole, do we have those phone calls? So you drove back and there was another phone call. Yes?
yes, when I got back to the property, once I made it up to the barn, I tried calling her.
You tried calling her?
Yes, and she did not answer.
All right. Do you have the picture? Yes, ma'am. I do. Would you agree? Okay, that's fine. We've agreed to take a brief break, Your Honor. I need to get a demonstrative together.
All right. We'll take our mid-afternoon recess. We'll try to keep it 10 minutes. Although if they need to do something, it may take 15.